Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Mental Health Talk with yours truly. I am Christina McIntyre. So I hope that y'all had the best week that y'all could. If not, let's not worry about yesterday. Let's focus on the now and the future. And even though it's rainy outside, I know sometimes the weather can let us down or make us feel like we can't do anything. But try to take this day, if you haven't taken a day this week, to sit back and reflect on your life. Make that list, figure out what you need to do to improve yourself so that you can enjoy the time that you do have here on earth, because our time is limited and life is so short. So let's start doing things that'll help us grow and that'll bring us peace. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram, Become Your C. Visit my website, www.becomeyourc.com, where I talk about our mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual aspects to help you on your spiritual journey. Also, YouTube, BYC Become Your C, and Facebook, BYC Become Your C. I do have new jewelry for the chakras. If you're interested in learning more about the chakras, you can always message me on Facebook, Christina McIntyre, or the BYC Become Your C page. Also, I have a book out. It's called Become Your C, 21 Poems to Ignite Your Spiritual Journey. It's definitely a good read. It makes you think outside of the box. So if you're interested, I have a link on my page that will take you to Amazon. It's available as an ebook and also a paperback. This month is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. And if you know anyone or you yourself have survived domestic violence, that is definitely a power, and rest in peace to all those people that have lost their lives to domestic violence. We want to bring more awareness to it, and next week I will definitely have a conversation about it, because I myself have been into domestic violence relationships, and I am a survivor, and it's proof that you can rise above all of that. You don't have to become what you were and who they said you were. The number for that, if you are in a situation where you do not feel safe, always create a safety plan. They said, especially if you're in a domestic violence situation. But if you have to leave when you get the chance to, I know it sucks when you have to start over from scratch, but your life is worth living, and sometimes it will take that to bring you to a better place. I had to start all over from scratch. I didn't have a job when I first moved up here, didn't have a car, didn't have my own place, but I got a job, I got a car a few months later. I've been in my apartment myself for 5 years, so you can do it. And I've started my own business, so there is a bright side to after all of this. Yes, it's going to take some healing, but you can do it. The number is 1-800-799-7233, or you can visit them on the hotline.org. Definitely, if you need them, reach out. Also, I always put the suicide awareness hotline out there. If you're ever feeling like life is too hard, that you had enough, that you think suicide is the option, I want to let you know that you definitely have purpose, you belong here, and that doesn't have to be the last resort. I know things can weigh heavy on your shoulders. Let's figure out a different way to go about it. Sometimes we just need a different point of view. That's why therapy is good. And if you need medication, they can offer that as well. I offer the holistic approach to it. You can visit them, suicideprevention.org, or call them 1-800-273-8255. Okay, so the topic for this week is, are we being kind enough to ourselves? And this is important because as we navigate through life, life is busy, but we forget to take care of the most important person, and that's ourselves. We don't think, when we assume roles that we are the most important, like in relationships and any type of relationship, like a intimate relationship, mother, daughter, father, son, child, parent, cousins, friends, that what we need doesn't matter. And so sometimes we put ourselves on the back burner to meet the needs of everyone else. And I just wanted to share, that's not the best solution, because if you can't take care of you, you're going to get depleted. And then you can't be your full self to everyone else. Okay, so what stops us from taking care of ourselves? So, responsibilities, right? So, we get put on a back burner because we have responsibilities. We have to work. If we have children, we have to take care of them. Let's say we have parents we take care of. We belong to different organizations, we're involved. And so, those become our priority. And then we, at the end of the night, we don't have anything left for ourselves. And so this goes on day by day. And most of the times when you don't sit down and take care of yourself, you can go through a struggle. You can feel overwhelmed. And then you start to get angry and sad. You can go into the depressed state because you feel like everything is on your shoulders. Obligations, again, kind of like responsibilities. So we're obligated, certain things. Like if you're a parent, you're obligated to take care of your children. Some people choose whether they want to or not, but we definitely are. They need us, they need us to function, and so they become our priority and our obligation. And like a job, we have to be obligated to that. We want our bills to be paid, so we go and show up and show out. We may pull in overtime, and we may work at a job we feel we're not valued. We don't get paid enough. And just because we have like other obligations, our household, we need to take care of. We got a car note. And like say you have children and they're involved in stuff, you want to make sure they, are taken care of. So all your needs get put back on the back burner. Not enough time. So after you take care of all your responsibilities and your obligations, and at the end of the day, it is 10 o'clock at night, and you don't feel like you have anything for yourself. And so what we tend to do is just go to bed with everything on our shoulders, or we lay up late at night and we just think about everything that we have to do. So we never really get any time to be with ourselves, to take that time to self-reflect. And what happens is all of that becomes bottled up. We get so overwhelmed, and then sometimes we lash out, and then we start isolating ourselves. And then we can't give our full potential into those things that bring us joy, or like our work or our family life or relationships. Like we can't, because we already allow too much to be taken out of us. What stops us from taking care of ourselves? The last option, right? So we're doing everything for everyone else, and we put ourselves as the last option. Like everyone needs is before us, right? We're taking care of people. Like if you're a person that loves to take care of people, you got to be careful, because sometimes people take advantage of you as a good person, as a person that's a giver, right? And when you constantly take from someone, you leave them nothing left. And it's supposed to be an exchange, right? Relationships are like that. Like it's a give and take thing. So if you're taking all the time from someone, you're overfilled. Which means you should be pouring into other people. But a lot of times people are selfish and they keep it all from themselves. And so that energy travels. Now you left this good person that was a giver with nothing. And in turn, they might turn into that person that's a taker. So make sure that you're taking care of people, because some people love taking care of people, but that your needs are met as well, because you deserve, you deserve to have your needs met as well. We can't exist in this world without needs being met. Now, don't get confused with wants, because wants can always change, but needs are those basic things that we need to survive. And so make sure when you're taking care of everyone else that you also take care of yourself first. Stop and take care from ourselves. Mental issues, right? So if you suffer, again, with mental issues, now it's about mental health. So you can have like regular mental health, we all have that, but mental issues. So if you suffer from mental issues, it can stop you from taking care of yourself. So if you suffer from depression makes you feel sad, lonely, isolated. A lot of people, they might stop cleaning, they might stop taking care of themselves. some people don't bathe when they have depression. They may overeat or undereat. They may choose drugs or alcohol to help and cope with the pain. And so now you're not taking care of your body, right? When we feed our body these things that's not supposed to be there, then we start to get sick, and it makes our mental health issues worse. Also, having anxiety, right? Having anxiety will make you have fear of rejection sometimes and abandonment. And so what that does is make you overcompensate. So now you're overdoing it, right? You're over people pleasing. You're making sure that this person likes you. Like if you grew up like shy or isolated from people, you weren't part of the crowd, and turning into adult, that will make you want to have friends. And so what people tend to do, and I used to do, is that we tend to overdo it, right? We want to make these people like us so bad, and so we will do anything to have them as our friend. Or in relationships, right? Like let's say you're in a relationship and you love this person and they stand with you for their own reasons, but they really are not into you. But you're doing whatever you can to make this work. So you're going to do whatever they need, whatever they like, but neglecting yourself. And so after a while, you get tired. And then what happens is the relationship crumbles, or sometimes domestic violence can happen as a result of that, because now the other person sees that they can't take advantage of you, and so now they're getting upset, right? And so you got to make sure that you don't put yourself in situations where you can be taken advantage of. But I know that it's not always easy. We want to be loved, we want to be accepted by people, but we can't do that at the cost of ourselves. The right people will love you for who you are. The right people will be in your circle. The right people will be supportive. The right people is not going to put you down and make you feel less than. Again, relationships are an exchange, whether it's friendships or intimate relationships. And so whatever relationships that you have, if there's not an even exchange, then you have to reevaluate the urgency of that relationship, or whether you really need that relationship or not. Sometimes we stay in situations or places longer than we need to be, and it causes us to self-destruct. And this is what we don't want to do. Negative thinking also causes us not to care for ourselves the way that we need to. Like negative thoughts like, oh, I'm not good enough. Oh, it's never going to work right for me. I'm not valued enough, or I can't do this. Like all those thoughts, your body responds to what we think. And so if you're constantly feeding in your mind the negativity, your cells will respond, and that's how they're going to react. A lot of times this is where I believe panic and anxiety comes from. They're responding to what we're feeding in. And this is like over years of doing. So you have to kind of break the cycle. It's hard to transfer from negative thinking to positive, but you have to be consistent and do it every day. It seems funny at first when you're looking in the mirror and you're telling yourself all these positive things like, oh, you got it, or you can do it. Oh, I'm beautiful or handsome. You're awesome. Like all these things. It does seem crazy at first, but over time, your body will respond to the positivity that you feed it. And in turn, it'll give you the energy that you need to keep thriving, to keep thinking outside of the box, to keep trying to make your life as peaceful as possible. And the one thing we do that we don't take care of stuff enough is fear of change, right? We don't give ourselves what we need because we are scared to change. And this is like kind of related to what I just said. We don't want to change because that means that we have to change who we are. Like not the core person, but change our behaviors, our habits, the patterns that we have. Again, people that we're with. Like sometimes we have friendships and relationships that we should not be in because they're not doing anything for us. And not that you always want to get from someone, but if you're around people all the time that negatively talk, they talking about people, they want to do things, but then they're sitting on their butts all day and they're not getting up and doing nothing. They complain about they needing money, but they don't find no solution for it. They're hungry, but they find no solution to eat. Or they're suffering, but they don't want to stop the pain. So you can only be as sort of supportive as possible, but after a while, that drains you. Like, I've been around people, they call them energy vampires, that you go in the room and you can feel the negativity. And so for me, my body reacts to it. I start getting panic and anxiety right away if it's negative energy. So you have to pay attention to what you are allowing in your circle, because it definitely affects you. And that whole thing about changing is we get so comfortable. That's why it's hard to change. We're so used to these people or these places and things, we can't let them go. It's like a picture that I seen on the internet. It's someone holding a rope really tight, right? And it's a bruise in their arm. And the tighter they pull on that rope, the more their arm gets bruised. But once they start letting the rope go, the bruises start to go away. And that's what we're doing in those situations that we don't need to be in, right? We're causing ourselves more conflict than letting go. And I'm not saying go change everything overnight. It's a whole process. It's a journey. And you decide when you want things to be different in your life. And if you're okay with everything, how everything is, that's fine. But at some point, you can't talk about, like, people be like, oh, I'm so tired of these people, but still hang around them, right? Or let's say you're trying to eat healthy and lose weight. I'm so tired of looking like this, but then you do nothing to change that habit, right? And then so we have to break these habits. And I know it's hard. I'm struggling right now. I had gained a little bit of weight trying to get back to where I need to be. And it's partly my own fault because I like to eat snacks. And I know what I'm doing to myself, and I'm trying to get my brain there. But it's like, until you are comfortable enough with yourself to be honest with yourself and be like, hey, you can't keep complaining about the same things and don't do anything different. And that's hard, right? We don't want to face ourselves because sometimes we're causing the pain that's in our life because we're so connected with these things. And I talked about this before, like cleaning out your closet. That's hard because now you got to deal with your own stuff, right? What is it about you that's choosing certain situations? And not that I'm saying certain things are your fault, no, but we're put in situations, or we have situations, and sometimes we stay longer than we were supposed to, and so we're causing the pain. So we choose when the pain stops. We choose when change is right for us. So make sure that whatever you do in life and you navigate, that you take ownership sometimes in your life. I think sometimes we put too much responsibility on someone else or something else instead of looking at our life. Like, we can't control everything, but those things that we can control, we can do something about it. What can we do to take care of ourselves? So we need to put ourselves first. It's not selfish, it's self-care, and it's self-love. When we are the best to ourselves, we're not going to expect nothing less than. A lot of times we settle because we don't love ourselves enough. We don't see ourselves as worthy enough or valuable enough. And when we start to do that, we start to see changes around us. We won't settle for less than what we deserve. And it's a process, right? You have to do things consistently. You can't practice daily affirmations and mantras once in a while. You have to be consistent with it, especially like eating healthy. You have to be consistent with it, exercise, building positive relationships. And also, you have to look at yourself again and see on what you need to better yourself. And sometimes this takes time, right? It takes a lot of reevaluation. It takes a lot of meditation to like look internally and see what it is that I need to work on for myself. You can't give up so much of yourself, and otherwise you'll get depleted. So don't, like, if you're doing a lot of things, right, I say make a list, right? Prioritize. What's the most important things that you need to be focused on right now? you don't need to do everything. Like a lot of times, sometimes we be super people and thinking that we need to do everything and be everything for everybody. Sometimes people do it for a show, like, look at me, look what I can do. And then you're getting overwhelmed and now you're getting depleted. So make sure you put those things that's most important at the top of the list. And if you can get to the ones at the bottom, hey, maybe, but there are not necessities, right? It's okay to say no to people. A lot of people are obligated to things because they fear of saying no because people won't like them and they'll reject them. And so then they find themselves isolated. Again, if the right people are in your circle, you don't have to worry about saying no or I can't do this. You understand things. They understand things and they won't make you feel like less than that. Eat, again, this is how you can take care of yourself. Eat the best that you can. I know all the time, we can't eat perfect all the time, but look over your diet, right? See what you're eating. Sometimes the foods that we eat affect how we feel. And if we're not eating the right things all the time, it can weigh us down, right? We don't have any energy. So we need to try to eat things that will provide us better nutrients, right? Energize us. Also, exercise. We need exercise. I know it's hard. Sometimes you work, you got things to take care of. Set aside, and this is part of self-care, set aside 30 minutes, 5 times a week at least, or 6 or whatever you feel like, but at least 5 times in the morning and at night. Some people like to work out in the morning. I'm a morning workout person because it's hard to push myself at night, especially after I had a long day. So set a time, them 30 minutes. And there's no excuse because YouTube has so many different workout videos. Find something that you enjoy. Just keep your body moving. When your body's moving, actually, it gives you energy. And if you're not used to working out, just go walk around the neighborhood, walk around the track, do something to prove to yourself that you love yourself and you want to take care of yourself. Do things that make you happy, right? So sometimes money can be a hassle, right? And you don't have enough money to do certain things. But there are things that you can do that don't require money or don't require a lot of money. Figure out what you like doing. You don't know if you like something if you don't try it. There are so many things that you can do in the world. And one of those things that you may discover is that might be your purpose or that might be your gift, but you don't know if you don't try. So sometimes just go outside of your comfort, go outside of your box, see what's out there in the world. The world is for us to grab onto. So we need to just keep going, do the things that bring us pleasure and makes us happy. Again, positive affirmations and mantras. So mantras are a saying that you say to yourself that bring positive energy, right? What we speak sends vibrations to our body, and our cells are listening. So have a mantra that you say every day. I like the one that says, I can't control everything. Those things that I can't control, I'm going to control. That's how you take power back. That's how you separate from putting yourself into too much stuff and worrying about stuff that you can't control, right? Let's say you got all these bills due. You only got a certain amount of money, right? And credit cards calling, all this stuff. So what can you do? You only have a certain amount of money. You only can pay certain things. You can't worry about those bills that you cannot pay or them creditors that keep calling you. It is what it is at this point. And so all this stress, extra stress and worrying is going to do nothing but weaken your immune system. This is why a lot of people get sick because they're so stressed out about neglecting themselves. So let's start saying positive things to ourselves and start first thing in the morning and throughout the day. Whenever you need a boost of confidence and positive affirmations, this is like, I am worthy, I am valuable, I matter, I have purpose, I'm beautiful, like I'm kind, I deserve this. Like constantly say these things. Feed yourself the positivity that you need. People can see that, right? People can see positive people or they feel their energy, right? You ever be around someone and you can feel their positivity and it makes you smile or boost your confidence, or because they're so positive, it bounces off on you and you're like, okay, I got to get my stuff together. And so definitely reflect on that. I talked about cleaning out the closet, do the internal work. You can't become the best that you need for everyone if you don't deal with it. One, yourself. And this is mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual. Like, it's a whole list of things that we need to do to make sure that we care. And this doesn't require a lot of time. It just taking time, write a plan. I have a notebook that I write things that I do every day because my brain is scattered and so I can't focus. I have stuff on my calendar on my phone just so I don't forget. I have notepads. So do whatever you need to help you stay focused and organized. Again, people that love you and respect you will want you to be kind to yourself. And those people that don't, those people that want you to do for them first, they're selfish. And so those are the type of people that you don't need in a circle. Everything is about energy exchange. And so if people expect you to do for them, they have to do for you. And if you ask of something, it don't have to be money, and they constantly turn you down, that means that they were only there to get what from you, which they needed. Learn to love yourself so you can be beneficial to everyone else. And then self-love is self-care. Appreciate, honor yourself, and remember that you are enough. So we need to be kind to ourselves. We're not kind enough, and I get it, right? It's a process to sit. Sometimes we have to remove things from our life. I saw a post someone was saying about cleaning out your closet, but just not internal, like your physical space. What if you have you were in old relationships and you have old pictures and old things? Why are you holding on to things that no longer serve purpose to you? The energy stays in everything you have. Like if you have clothing or knick-knack, I don't know, anything, all that energy stays. So clean out your closet so that you can reap the benefits of your positivity, right? I do sage. I light incense to clear out the negative energy. Do whatever you have to. Meditate, pray, go to church, go to therapy. Do whatever to bring yourself to the point where you know that you are enough. You always comes first, and everything after that is a reflection of you, right? The more positive you are, the more life you breathe into yourself, you can do abundant things. And let's make it a priority to choose ourselves first. And that's not being selfish. It's actually being or doing self-care. I want to thank everybody for tuning in each and every Sunday at 12 p.m. Also, if you are interested in any of the chakras and learning about the chakras as a holistic approach to mental health, you can always message me on Facebook, Christina McIntyre, or BYC Become Your C. You can visit my website, www.becomeyourc.com, where I talk about the mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual aspects of ourselves to help us on our journey to self-discovery. Also, Instagram, Become Your C, and did I say Facebook? Facebook or YouTube, BYC Become Your C. Also, there is I didn't talk about that. It's a domestic violence awareness program next Saturday. It is at what's that library called? Oh man, I'm not from west side. The Crozier Library on Ingle Street, I believe. It starts at 1. They're having a event to talk about domestic violence, and to bring more awareness to it, to show respect to those that weren't survivors. I will be saying a little piece on there as well. So if you're interested, it's next Saturday at 1 p.m. I think it's over at 3. Definitely check it out. If you know someone that's in a domestic violence situation, help them as much as you can. Tell them about the event. Don't be ashamed to share your story. I was ashamed for a long time, but I'm no longer like that. It is what it is. That's how you grow. When you are able to speak about it and not be ashamed, that's how you grow. And then that's it. Make sure this week is the best week that you can make it. Remember to take care of yourself. Don't worry about things that you can't control, and be kind to yourself and tell yourself you love yourself every day. Until next time.